will happen to you after you watch this show. This face right here is going to happen to you when you actually have the time to sit down and watch this entire first season. Like, I knew this show was highly praised and all, but damn, I was still not prepared. I was still not ready for what I was getting myself into. And I thought, oh, hey, you know what? Should be an easy going, it's only 3 seasons. We don't have to talk about Punisher or the Defender stuff or anything like that right now. We just focus on the Daredevil main show leading up to Born Again's premiere in 2 days. Oh, how naive and stupid I was, because even though it doesn't seem like this is a big undertaking because the episodes aren't like 20 plus long, it is a very long runtime per episode. Like, each of them is like their own movie. Heck, some of them even reach feature length, almost. Like, it's ridiculous and crazy how long this show is in just its first season. And from what I've seen from looking at some information on seasons 2 and 3, as well as Born Again announcing their runtimes of all their episodes, it looks like it's just going to be a thing. And honestly, I'm not entirely sure how to feel about it. But what I can tell you, besides the very arduous runtime, like, you really have to buckle down for these, I can tell you right now that, judging from the first season, this might be one of the best superhero shows ever made. I absolutely kid you not. This might be one of the best superhero shows ever made. I don't even know how to properly describe it to you in words, what I've witnessed. Going through this entire first season today in one long 13, 15 hour long binge that I was supposed to do yesterday, but internet problems. What can you do? But, oh man, I still wasn't ready. And when I was done, I was out of my chair and I was applauding, because this is incredible in every single way, shape, and form. This is what adult live-action shows centered around established IPs should be like. Take notes, DC. This is how you do it correctly. So, I am going to still try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, because I absolutely do not want to ruin anything for you. But if you haven't seen this show yet, and you are over 18 and you can handle intense violence, this is going to be the best version of Daredevil that we are ever going to get on screen. Now, yes, frankly, this is coming from a guy who grew up on the 03 movie. Yes, make your jokes. I know it's bad. I know. But here's the thing about me. I have always had a soft spot for those cheesy 2000s superhero movies that people love to crap on, because I grew up with them. Those were the movies for superheroes back in my day. Like, I'm talking like pre-MCU, man. I'm talking like way back in the very early 2000s, Spider-Man, X-Men, Daredevil, Ghost Rider, like, these movies that people bash, the original Fantastic Four, the movies that people love to bash nowadays, I cannot bring myself to do. Aside from Ang Lee's Hulk, that movie's garbage. But the rest of them, even ones that people absolutely hate, like Spider-Man 3, I can't bring myself to hate. I just can't. And Daredevil 3 is another one of those situations, which, honestly, I forgot to even put it in the schedule to give it its own review, but I promise you I will review it some other time, because it is a movie that I do have a lot of thoughts on. So, but for now, let's talk about the show and why it is the best live-action version of Daredevil we have ever seen and we're ever going to get, and the reason why Charlie Cox is getting to continue being this character into the MCU, with Spider-Man No Way Home, the one and only good thing in She-Hulk, recently in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man in Episode 6, and, of course, getting his own 4th season, technically, with Daredevil Born Again in just a few days. That's going to be attached to the MCU, and that's keeping that gritty R rating. So, what is it about this show that makes it so great? Well, I'm going to break it down season by season for you. Starting with this first season and this written review, which it's a bit more summarized than usual, and it's because I pretty much have no negatives on this show. Like, watching through it all the way through, it was a really long task, but I was very happy that I did it. It's a show I've been hearing about for years, and that I've always wanted to check out, and a lot like some other stuff that I've reviewed recently, this is another one of those cases where I finally got to put it in my schedule and check it out because there's a new thing. I'm glad that I did. This show is an absolute masterpiece. At least this first season is. And I am so beyond excited to talk about it with you guys. I'm not going to go full spoilers. I absolutely do not want to ruin anyone's experience. But all I'm just going to say is buckle down and buckle up for a crazy, violent, brutal show. So, here's my written review. It sums up all my thoughts pretty well. I hope you enjoy it. And yes, no cursing this time. Wow. Just wow. I don't even know where to even remotely begin talking about the first season of Netflix's Daredevil. I knew it was highly acclaimed and all that, but damn, I still wasn't ready for what this very first season had to offer. That being an absolute masterpiece of an adult superhero crime drama television series. Yes, that is an absolute mouthful. My only gripe with it is that it is very long, at 35 to 59 minutes per episode, which roughly equals a very large runtime of 13 to 15 hours. Yeah, you're gonna want to really put all your other plans aside if you plan to watch this entire first season, because it will take you over half the day to do. That's just a fair warning. It's a very long season, it's a very arduous task, but trust me when I say it is absolutely worth it. Which can hurt the rewatchability. Like, if it's super long like this, yeah, it is going to hurt the rewatchability a bit. I am going to want to watch something shorter. But when I'm in the mood for something longer, or if I'm in the mood for a great superhero show, I am definitely going to be picking this one from now on. That's literally it. That's my only gripe, is the runtime. That's literally my only problem. Now let's get into all the reasons why this first season is so amazing. The action is brutal, the fights are incredible with some of the best choreography I've ever seen in a live-action TV show. The acting is phenomenal all across the board, especially Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. The story is the perfect example of how to do a slow burn plot correctly. The emotional moments hit extremely hard. The blood and gore was top-notch with some of the most violent I have ever seen from Marvel, especially Kingpin's first on-screen kill, which was absolutely vicious. All I'm gonna say is, it's one of the most brutal, violent things that I have ever seen. Yes, I am saying that as a horror fan, because it is violent, it is brutal, it is drawn out, and I literally had to pause it and take a minute before I could continue. Like, I literally had to pause it. I was so jaw on the ground shocked that it even went to that length. Like, damn, it is an incredibly vicious, brutal death, and one of the goriest and most violent deaths I think I've ever seen in any TV show, animated or otherwise. The emotional moments hit extremely hard. I already got over that one, I'm sorry. The pacing was excellent, the writing was beyond impressive and grounded. The characters were all amazing and very well fleshed out. Like, no one here is of weak link. All the characters are multi-layered and extremely interesting. The nods to the source material are fantastic. The humor was hilarious and gave levity when needed. Like, this show can be funny when it wants to be funny. The finale's spectacular. I'm not going to say why, you just have to see it for yourself. And rewatchability, while greatly hampered by the runtime, is still on the higher end. While it may be a very time-consuming endeavor, this devil definitely earned his horns. Daredevil Season 1 is a brutal, bloody, dark, sharply written, shocking, dramatic, and all-around outstanding piece of television that has earned its praise and then some. While rewatchability may falter a little because of its very long runtime, trust me when I say it is more than worth the undertaking. Case closed for now. Final verdict for this first season of Daredevil? 10. I don't care. It's a 10 out of 10. And if this is the quality I had to expect going forward in 2 more seasons, oh man, I am super excited. So, if you don't mind now, I gotta go prepare myself for another long endeavor, because I gotta go watch Season 2. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next review. Take care.
Listen, I will soon forget. So listen and you won't regret. Be true to yourself, don't miss your chance, and you won't end up like the fool who ripped his pants.